Is America having its Chernobyl moment? People in Ohio certainly think so. These are residents of East Palestine. It is a small town in America. It's called East Palestine. A train carrying toxic chemicals derailed near this town. Then the derailed bogies caught fire. This was 2 weeks ago. People were evacuated. They're now returning to discover the full impact of the disaster. Many say they're suffering from headaches, sore throats, and a burning sensation in the eyes. There are reports about pets and other animals dying. Thousands of fish turned up dead in the nearby Ohio River. So is it really safe to return? What are the long-term impacts of this chemical spill? And what's being done to fix the situation? The town's residents wanted answers from the railway firm that operated the train. There was supposed to be a town hall on Wednesday. The representatives of the firm did not show up. Here's more.
On the night of February 3rd, a train derailed in the town of East Palestine in the US. It's a small town of about 5,000 people in the state of Ohio. When the train derailed, it caught fire. Some of the cars contained toxic chemicals. Among them was vinyl chloride, a known carcinogen. It's also flammable. The bogies transported it could explode. An alarm was sounded, the area was evacuated. Authorities conducted what they called a controlled release of the toxic gas. It created an ominous black cloud that engulfed the skies. A toxic mushroom cloud shrouded parts of Ohio. You see, vinyl chloride doesn't become safer after you burn it. On the contrary, it releases two toxic gases, hydrogen chloride and phosgene. These are now in the atmosphere. Vinyl chloride wasn't the only chemical in the train. Many others were leaked into the town. These chemicals are used to make plastics and paints. Now they're in the air and water. People were allowed to return last week. They're complaining of headaches, nausea, dizziness, sore throats, eye, nose, and skin irritation. In the long term, people are susceptible to cancer too.
Saturday, we were in my room, which I had the door closed, and it didn't smell in there. But my son came out, and he was like, "Oh my God, it stinks, Mom. It smells like paint thinner." And I'm like, "No, it doesn't." I got up and come out, and it smelled like really, really strong paint thinner. And then his eyes turned like bloodshot, and he started coughing, and I was like, "Yeah, we're leaving." So we hurry up and grabbed as much as we could, and we took off.
The firm that ran the train refused to attend the town hall. The derailment has caused potentially irreversible damage. Some people have lost their pets. The local wildlife is dying in droves. Many people are now considering leaving the town, a town some of their families have inhabited for hundreds of years. The train was carrying hazardous cargo, but it did not bear a high hazard classification. This would have ensured better safety precautions. But the firm's excuse is that only a few bogies were carrying the toxic chemicals.
We are absolutely going to hold Norfolk Southern accountable, and I can promise you that.
The important thing to me is that we hold, as the administrator said, that we hold Norfolk Southern accountable.
So we're going to get through this together. We're going to hold Norfolk Southern accountable.
Is this a promise of justice, or is it just passing on the buck? Will the victims ever be fully compensated? In the case of Chernobyl, the city is a ghost town. People can never go back to their ancestral home. In Italy, an accident took place at a chemical plant near Milan in 1976. Toxic gases polluted the surrounding areas. Studies have found how the locals became more susceptible to cancer. The technical director of the company was sentenced to just 2 years in prison for the negligence. And India's Bhopal gas tragedy victims still await justice. The then CEO of Union Carbide fled India and never faced prison. More often than not, companies pay some damages and the people responsible escape punishment.